Play in the first game, how excited you were to get back out there, maybe what you felt like as you took the field for the first time in a long time.
I don't think there's a word I could use to describe that feeling. It felt great. Uh, just coming through the tunnel, running out in the field with all my teammates, knowing that I'm going to actually be able to play. First time in a year. It was everything I expected. New stadium, new fans, new motive. It felt great.
Dante, looks like Darius is out again. Just talk about how the defense did without him and what you guys missed with him not on the field.
I feel like the defense played great. Not having that anchor in Marcel, that extra pass rush on third and long. We kind of missed that, but I feel like the guys that stepped in, Billingsley, Damian Square, Luther Davis, those guys stepped in. They did a great job. But one of the things that we kind of missed about Marcel is the fact that third and long, third and short. Marcel's always that guy who always gets that extra push. But we had a guy in there that did just as good a job as Marcel does, in Darren Centimore. So we're hoping those guys can step up this week and do just as well a good job as they did last week.
You went through something, where you had to sit out games, not watching last year and playing. With those two guys, Darius and Mark, have you maybe given some advice to them to just wait, be patient, because they may be going through some of the things that you went through?
Yeah, he did. Like you just said, I was out for a while, and I talked to Mark. He's working hard in the rehab room. I kind of told him, you put that work in hard now. There's no telling when you're going to be back. And I was actually down there with him earlier, and I was watching him, and he looks great. So hopefully he'll be back next week, 100%. And as far as Marcel goes, he kind of knows, that he's going to be back hopefully next week. And I just told him keep around the team, try to keep everybody up. And it's not like I had to tell him to do that. He was there. Saturday he was there. He was pumped, and like nothing ever happened.
Dante, you're going up against Penn State, known as linebacker U. As a linebacker, does that get you amped up a little bit more ready to play for this game?
Yeah, it does. You can't really argue with them. They've had a great amount of linebackers that actually come through Penn State. But, more than that, I'm kind of looking forward to playing against Joe Pop. He's a great coach. He's going to be in the Hall of Fame. He's just a really great coach. The way he's brought up that program since he's been there is great. So I'm looking forward to playing against Penn State.
This used to be a pretty big rivalry. Back in the 80s, they played every year. You think that's kind of lost on the players a little bit, that used to be a pretty intense rivalry, or is it still pretty exciting to play this game?
Yeah, it does. It can fall back either way. From then to now. Just the fact that you're playing against one of the teams. Both teams are always kind of highly talked about. Very highly respected through the years of college football. So that being enough. Then like I said again, playing against Joe Pop. That just means a lot. That just gets my blood pumping. So I'm looking forward to it.
Talk from Barry Krause this week about the goal line stand to kind of fire you guys up?
Yeah, I actually talked to him, Saturday night about it, and they kind of got me a little amped too. So I came in yesterday and got a little extra workout and watched a little film. So I'm looking forward to that.
Do you, as a player, knowing the history and that sometimes a play can make you a legend, so to speak, at a university, do you ever envision that in yourself, maybe having a play where it can signify, your stance in history?
Yeah, I do, especially that goal line stand. That just says a lot, and you kind of want to have visions like that, and going through the game, looking for situations where you can come up and make a big play. So it's always going through my mind, and I'm looking forward to Saturday having one of those visions.
Greg had mentioned that this is a game that he's had circled on his calendar since he got here. I read a story where the Penn State guys were talking about that in the same sense. Do you see this game for them as a way to kind of propel their program back to the level where yours is?
Oh, I do. Playing against a team, that just won a national championship, and still a team that's still highly talked about, even though we lost a couple of, a lot of good players, a lot of first rounders, a lot of All-Americans. Those guys are kind of looking, like you said, to propel their, their program and, their legacy and trying to get back to where they were. And you can't really blame them. But Penn State's always been a really good team. Even throughout the years when they might not have went to a bowl or might not have a good a season as they should. But they still always have a good program.
One more. They're going to to start a freshman quarterback. He played well last week. What's one thing you see in freshman quarterbacks or young guys that the defense can kind of force them into?
You know, like you said, I mean, he played a really good game. You know, he's a dual threat quarterback. I mean, he's not only able to run, but he's also able to pass. But you know, hopefully we'll be able to get in there. You know, our defense is known to kind of confuse the quarterbacks, you know, even better. And so hopefully we'll get in and get his head right a little bit.